I tell people that I wrote my first line of code as a beginner software developer in 1978 or thereabouts, and that's pretty accurate, I think. And it means that I have amassed, I would say, a wealth of experience in a variety of different things related particularly to the computer industry and to software development in particular, in fact. I bring that up because I have this subject that came to my mind and I thought that I wanted to discuss today. And the subject is, I'm better than others. Or you could say it another way. You could say it, I am better than others. That's what I wanted to talk about on the Daily Summation from Kurt's Religion and Politics. I'm your host. I'm Kurt, and today is Monday, the 14th of February of 2022. That would be Valentine's Day. I'm not going to get into anything more than that. Welcome to everyone who's here on Rumble, the podcast, YouTube, BitChute, CloudHub. I can't see my own stuff. My Facebook page, locals.com, minds.com, Parler, Gab, wherever you happen to be coming from, welcome aboard today. I'm glad to have you here. I need to adjust my notes a little bit the next time I do them, I can see, and that's fine. Rumble is my preferred platform, as I've said before. I do not mind if you watch me on others, obviously. That can be a thing as well. Today's subject, though, is I'm better than others. Now, well, I'll get into the details of that in the course of time. I was going to talk about what that actually means, but I'll get into the details of that but after I kind of go through my notes, and maybe I'll feel like I don't have to do this as much. You need to understand an important reality. There are ways in which I'm better than others. I don't know that I qualify as the best at anything. So the point is, even in those things where I'm better than others, there are likely, almost certainly I might argue, those who were, are, or will be better than me. And let's be quite plain. That I'm better than others in one sense, or in multiple senses even, does not mean I'm better than those same folks overall. It's not what it means. Even considering the idea, it's not bad or wrong for me to couch myself as being better than others. If I don't make that a general statement, right? Chances are good, for example, I'm a better software developer than most folks around me. Okay, great, but what does that do for someone looking for a better brain surgeon? Should they come to me? I would certainly not be high on the list of folks they probably should visit for such a thing. What about those looking to get their automobile fixed? I might be better than some, but not than, for example, your typical ASC certified mechanic. That's just not something you should expect of me. Look, there's nothing wrong with ranking some skill you possess and indicating you're a good choice for folks to utilize where that skill is concerned. It's when we decide that we're somehow more important than those around us as a general thing that we get into trouble. It just doesn't take the brightest bulb in the firmament to understand. I've said this many times before and will likely say it many again. We need good garbage men, good cashiers, and so many other things. And some of them are lower station things in the way a lot of people look at them, and some of them are not. And again, are there better software developers than me? You can bet there are. You can be sure of it. That doesn't mean I can't say I'm better than others at something or things. We need to stop stigmatizing such an idea as a thing. It's just not a thing to stigmatize. It's okay to say I'm better than others so long as I recognize I'm not necessarily better than everybody, even at a specific thing. It makes little to no sense to say that's true for everything about me. There are things that should be counted problematic. Or these are things that should be counted problematic. Counting yourself better than people as a general thing, or counting yourself better than everybody, even with a specific thing, you might be. I'm not going to say that that's not true. I know for myself personally that I cannot make the argument that there's anything where there's probably not somebody better than me. I try to balance certain aspects of myself to make it so that overall, in certain more grand scheme things, I'm the better person to come to for a specific situation, circumstance, or whatever. But what I'm trying to get across to you today is this idea of not being able to say I'm better than others. That's hokum. I lived in Australia where people would ask folks, do you think you can do this? And they would reply with, yeah, I reckon, which was their way of saying, yes, I can do that. They didn't want to be, quote, posers. They didn't want to be people who everybody looked at and said, yeah, he's a poser. He talks about himself all the time or whatever, right? They didn't want to do that. So I'm not sitting here telling you that you should rank yourself highly on things for no apparent reason. But if somebody asks me, hey, Kurt, can you do software development? Are you okay at that? Are you better than others at that? The answer is, yeah, I'm better than most of the folks you're going to probably find around you when it comes to that. That doesn't mean that there aren't some folks who aren't going to be fantastic at that, maybe better than I am, even in the little areas where I find myself at times. But what I'm trying to get across here is, it's okay to say I'm better than other people at specific things. Assuming that you're a better person than other people, that's broken as a rule. Even if I could say that were true, I wouldn't want to assume it. On the other hand, if you ask me, am I a better basketball player? Well, the answer is, in that case, probably not. If you ask me if I was a better runner, the answer is probably not. If you ask me if I was a better driver, actually, than a lot of people, yes, the answer probably is yes. Not everybody, obviously, that's not going to be true for everybody. If you ask me the same about software development, I'd say the same thing. Yes, I'm better than most of the people around me at software development. The point of all of this is it shouldn't be a stigmatized thing for me to say that I'm better than others where certain things are considered or concerned. It just shouldn't. That's not how that should be. If you think it's reasonable to count me wrong for saying that I'm better than others where certain things are concerned, you will forgive me. You are mistaken. You're wrong. What you think, as far as I'm concerned, is broken. You need to stop assuming that it's reasonable to tell people that they can't say, hey, I'm better at this thing or that thing than these other people around me. Maybe maybe I'm wrong. Maybe another person will be wrong. Maybe that's correct. Maybe that's the case. But you know what? It's not improper for my son to say, I run better than you do. Yeah, he probably does these days. I'm not going to say he could run faster because I think I could still take him in a sprint at this point. But you know what? In the course of time, probably that's not even going to be a thing. He's probably going to come to a place in his life where he's better than I am at running, and he's probably going to get stronger. I'm better than you at lifting things. I'm better than you at carrying things. That's very likely to happen. And just in the same way that I shouldn't expect to be stigmatized myself by saying something like that, I don't expect anybody to do that to him either, to laugh at him or say that it's improper for him to consider that to be true. It's just not. One of the important realities of life is the way you decide what you want is looking at this and saying this is better than that. It may be because of taste. It may be because of how fast that car goes. It may be because this tire works better on the ice. But there are things that are better than other things, and it's not a shame to those that are not as good to not be as good. And again, just because that one thing is better in that particular way or set of ways doesn't mean it's always a better or preferable thing than anything else. That's not what that means. When you say this is better than that, the camera that I'm using is better than the camera that I had on my phone back when I was doing my videos on my phone. Is that wrong for me to say? Well, it's not any more wrong for people than it is for things. You just have to be careful not to say things like, I'm better in every way, or that person is a horrible person and I'm so much better than they are overall. That kind of thing I'm not a fan of. Even if it's true, I'm not a fan of it. I don't see any reason to say that. I don't see any reason to do that. When you qualify the idea that you're better at something, what you're doing is showing people you can sort of count on me where this thing is concerned, and that's what I'm trying to say today. Okay, I need to go ahead and wrap things up. This is the Daily Summation from Kurt's Religion and Politics. I'm your host. I'm Kurt, and today is Monday, the 14th of February of 2022. That means tomorrow will be Tuesday, that 15th. Basically middle of the week, a little bit later since this is February of 2022. Welcome to everyone who's here on BitChute, Cloud Hub, YouTube, the podcast Rumble, my Facebook page, minds.com, locals.com, again, where I'm Kurt's Religion and Politics.locals.com, Parler, Gab, and wherever else you may be catching me today. Remember that Rumble is my preferred platform. You can give me a boxing glove or a Rumble on Rumble. You can also give me a plus or a minus if you choose to do that. You can give me a positive or negative feedback on any platform where you're offered the opportunity to do that. You can comment on whatever it is that I put out there, my content as it were, and I will do what I can to make sure that I look at it. I will delete it if it's advertisements or anything like that gleefully. I'll just let you know that now. If it's not and it's something that I feel like I need to respond to, I will. But if it's something that I just feel like I need to look at and understand or leave out there for other people to see, I'll do that just as well. Subject for today has been I'm better than others. And tomorrow we're going to talk on a subject that seems kind of odd in a sense, but I think you're going to find that what I have to say about it is kind of interesting, and that is the subject of enslaved. I hope you're doing well today. I hope everything is going well for you. I hope you're doing well for the year so far. And hopefully we will see you again on Tuesday's edition of the Daily Summation from Kurt's Religion and Politics. The speaker on this edition of the Daily Summation is Kurt Schubert. This podcast was recorded on Monday, the 14th of February of 2022, Valentine's Day. The Daily Summation is created for Kurt's Religion and Politics. Thanks for watching this edition of the Daily Summation from Kurt's Religion and Politics. I hope you found it entertaining or instructional, and maybe both. If you want to see more from me, you can go to blogs.kpschubert.com. That's blogs.kpschubert.com. I am on Twitter, Parler, and Minds.com. My handle on each of those is @KPSchubert. That's @KPSHUBERT. I have a Rumble and a YouTube channel. They are the Kurt's Religion and Politics channels on Rumble and YouTube. I have a Facebook page. The Facebook page is Kurt's Religion and Politics as well. I am on Patreon. If you want to support me, that's one of the better places you can do that. And you will find me at Kurt's Religion and Politics on Patreon. I have a podcast. The podcast is podcasts with an S .kpschubert.com. That's podcasts.kpschubert.com. I think you should be able to find me with relative ease on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify as well. The best way I find to do that is to look for Kurt's Religion and Politics. You can try to use the Daily Summation. I find that it doesn't work as well as a general rule, but you can always try that. I'm glad to have you aboard today, and hopefully we will see you again tomorrow.